This is a video about multiplying decimal numbers. So, for example, I might start with 2.4 times 3.6. I can model this using a generic rectangle, which is a rectangle with a cross in it. I use this model so I can use the area method of multiplication. To find the area of anything, I know length times width equals my area. So basically what I'm going to do is multiply 2.4 and have this length represent 2 and this length represent 4/10. On this side, this length will represent 3 and this length will represent 6/10. I don't worry that they don't look the right length. That's not important. What's important is the labeling of the sides. So I start out by just multiplying length times width. 2 times 3 is 6. I have 3 times 0.4, so I know 3 times 4/10 would be 1 2/10. 2.6 is also 1 2/10. Then I have 6/10 times 4/10, that's 24 hundredths. To find my area or my product, I simply add the sum of the rectangles. So I have 6 and no tenths, no hundredths. I have 1 2/10, no hundredths. I have 1 2/10, no hundredths. And I have my decimal point and 2/10, 4 hundredths. I'm going to add all of that together. I have 4 hundredths. I have 6/10 and 8 ones, which is my answer. Now I can also use the typical multiplication algorithm, which is used for 2 and 3 and 4 digit multiplication. So I would set it up just as I would set up a double digit multiplication problem. So I have 2.4 times 3.6. 4 times 6, and I ignore the decimal points to start. I don't pay attention to them until the last step. 4 times 6 is 24, so I put down my 4, carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Now, what I've really done right here, this part is this part. This part is this part. And I've added those up without a decimal point yet. Now I have 2 times 6. I'm going to hold that place. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. This part, the 2 times the 6. This part right here is this part right here. This 2 times the 3 right here is this 2 times the 3 right here. Now I'm going to add it all up. So I have a 4, a 6, and an 8. And to locate my decimal point, I count the number of decimal places that I used. So I used 1 here. I used another one here. That's 2 total places that I used. So I start always on my right. There's 1 place, 2 places. My decimal point goes right here. Notice that those 2 amounts match. So I hope this is helpful for multiplying decimal numbers.